because carbohydrates are the most important thing to eat enough of in order to be happy and healthy. Carbohydrates are the main nutritional requirement of the human body. The human brain alone requires 200 grams of glucose per day to function optimally. And the rest of the cells, you can imagine, basically every cell in the human body needs glucose. And getting enough carbohydrates is important for every single measure of health and happiness. And I think that probably the biggest problem that people are facing today in their nutrition in terms of impeding their health and happiness is a deficiency in carbohydrates, without a doubt. Uh, I personally completely changed my health and my life when I first started eating more carbohydrates. And now that I actually eat enough carbohydrates, I was actually, even after I knew that carbohydrates were important, I personally have experienced carbohydrate deficiency even after knowing that carbohydrates were important because it's actually pretty difficult to get enough carbohydrates unless you are very, very, very well educated on how to do so. The truth is that for me, the problem was I was focused on fruit. And unless you have access to the best durian and the best champidak and the best jackfruit, and maybe even, let's say, the best bananas, it's pretty much impossible to get enough carbohydrates from fruit alone. Fruit is actually generally deficient in carbohydrates. As a result, I mean, if you think about, like, for example, a watermelon or grapes, or a fruit like honeydew, which is very sweet. Honeydew, when you eat it, is very sweet. But to get enough sugar from honeydew, you would have to consume like a ridiculous amount of fluid every day. You would be like, there would be just terrible, terrible things happening to your body if you tried to get enough sugar from honeydews. I can say that for sure because I've tried getting enough sugar from honeydews and cantaloupes. It just doesn't work. Mangoes, they can be sweet, although generally the mangoes on the market are garbage. They're either tasteless or sour. I've had mangoes that tasted like straight maple syrup, which is how a proper mango should taste. And pretty much the only mango worth eating is a mango that tastes like straight maple syrup, or at least that sweet. It can have different flavor profiles. Like there's fragrant mangoes and there's more dark maple syrupy mangoes, but even the fragrant mangoes should be ridiculously sweet. I've had mangoes like that too, but like even if I go to the store today and buy the best mango on the market here in Toronto, which Toronto gets good fruit relative to most places, even if I go and buy a Peruvian air flown mango, which is the best I can get on the market today, it's still crap. I can get Australian air flown, but they're even worse. The Ecuador shipped mangoes are crap. Um, I mean, they're all crap. Every mango available in Toronto today is crap, and every mango available tomorrow is gonna be crap. And even if they were amazing, let's say you had like the syrupy maple sugary mangoes, the truth is, good luck eating enough of them before you know, like mangoes have a lot of fiber. They're they're really high in fiber, and I'm pretty sure. I'm tempted to say with the maple syrupy mangoes, you might be able to get a lot of sugar with them, but they're so rare. Practical reality is to get enough mangoes, to get enough sugar from mangoes, you'd have to eat so much fiber, it would just be painful. I promise. There's no way to do it. If you think you're getting enough sugar from mangoes, you're probably deficient in carbohydrates. There is one food that can reliably provide enough sugar to the human body without causing any problems. And that food is white rice. Whether it be sweet, sticky, glutinous rice grown in China or California, or Thai fragrant glutinous rice, or even, Japanese sushi rice, Japanese style, can be grown in California, China, whatever. Japanese sushi rice is so expensive. I don't think it's worth it. Um, Probably, I'll just tell you quickly, my favorite would be sweet rice, sweet glutinous rice grown in China. That stuff is like, it's pure nutrition. It's just so good. But I've also loved Thai jasmine rice. Um, I'm sure that like a short grain rice grown in California or China or Vietnam. I know the Kohuo rose, uh, Japonica variety, um, very popular. No problem with that. There's nothing wrong with any white rice, really. At the end of the day, white rice is the one food that can reliably provide you with enough carbohydrates in a like reasonable way that won't cause any other problems. There are other foods that are great. Potatoes can be great, but they have the same problem that fruit does in a way, which is they're very variable in quality. So I've had potatoes that were like very nutritious. I could just taste it. And I've had potatoes that were completely useless, like zero. Just like you just taste it. There's nothing there. They're just like mass, like fiber and water, but there's no carbohydrates. So some potatoes can be pretty useless. Um, what else is there? Wheat. I don't have a lot of experience trying to use wheat as a source of carbohydrates, but I think it should be fine, to be honest. Like pasta, why not? Um, what else is there? Dates are great, but there's a problem. I've eaten like 30 dates in one day. I've relied on dates as a main source of carbohydrates for weeks, and it's not actually very pleasant. It gets unpleasant to eat that many dates. So as a result, I just don't see why anyone would put themselves through that. Whereas right now, eating 4 cups of white rice every day and like 6 dates every day, I have no problems and I don't feel like disgusted by my food. So, yeah, there's something about dates that's wonderful in the right quantities. I like to eat 6 a day, but too many dates is just too many dates. And, I like to enjoy my food. So, like, I don't want to eat 20 dates in one day. It's just not very fun. Um, what else? You know what? I'm not saying not to eat fruit. Fruit's great. I eat, melon as many days as I can still, just not that much. Like maybe half a melon a day, maybe a whole melon if it's real good. But in general, like I'm not that motivated to eat much more than that of melon. Um, I still eat durian when I get the chance, when I like see it's amazing. Oh, I'll never pass up. Durian is a fruit which I believe is very nutritionally dense when it's good. I haven't really experienced what I imagine to be the best because I've only experienced durian in Toronto, but I'm very curious to experience durian like at its top quality, I must say. Um, Anyways, getting back to the core of the message of this video, carbohydrates are extremely important. Most people are deficient in them. That deficiency can cause and does cause. I mean, for me, it caused terrible chronic sinusitis. For many people, here's an interesting one that you probably didn't know, and you can Google it if you don't believe me. Carbohydrate deficiency can and does cause diabetes. Google it.